Chosen one. A secret admirer is about to change your destiny. Something has been stirring behind the veil, just beyond what your eyes can see. A presence has been walking in your shadow, not to haunt, but to protect. They've watched you in silence, seen your courage when no one else did, felt your pain when no one was there to comfort you, and cheered for you in your loneliest moments. This presence, this secret admirer, is not just any person. They are a being of immense significance, and their connection to you is no coincidence. Fate has been weaving threads between you two for lifetimes. They have remained in the background until now, biding their time, waiting for the exact moment when you would be ready. That moment has arrived. But before we dive deeper, I ask you to stay with this message until the end. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and something extraordinary is hidden within these words, waiting for your heart to unlock it. And if you feel a flicker of warmth, a pulse of energy or recognition, leave your warmest wishes in the comments and type 77. That simple act will echo into the universe and energize the reality you are destined to step into. You have always felt different. Maybe it was the way you noticed details no one else did, or how you could feel the emotions in a room without a single word being spoken. That sensitivity wasn't a weakness. It was a signal, a signature of your calling. This admirer, this silent guardian, saw that too. Even when you doubted yourself, even when you tried to shrink your light to make others comfortable, they saw through it. They saw you. Not the broken pieces others misunderstood, not the walls you had to build just to survive, but the core of who you are, the essence that not even time could tarnish. This admirer has been in places you've never noticed. The stranger who held the door, the voice that showed up just when you needed encouragement, the unexpected signs that felt too precise to be random. They've left breadcrumbs for your spirit to follow. Why? Because their mission has always been tied to yours, and soon they will step out of the shadows and into your life, not as a surprise, but as a destiny finally fulfilled. They carry a truth that has been waiting to reach you, a truth that will rearrange how you see your past, how you walk through the present, and how you shape your future. You may think you've been alone all this time, but the truth is, this secret admirer has been walking with you in spirit for much longer than you can imagine. You are not just a random soul floating through life. You are chosen, and those who are chosen never travel unaccompanied, even when they can't see who walks beside them. This person, this force, has been gathering the strength to intervene, to step in, not to rescue you, but to activate you. Because the time for you to remain in hiding is over. The version of you that was waiting to be seen, to be chosen, is no longer dormant. You are being seen. You are chosen. And the one who sees you best, the one who recognizes the fire behind your calm, the magic beneath your silence, is about to change your destiny forever. But this change won't arrive like a storm. It will arrive like sunrise. It will feel like remembering something you've always known. There will be no doubt, no confusion, just alignment. The pieces of your story that never made sense will begin to fit. You'll look back at every unanswered question, every unexplained moment of protection or delay, and realize it was them. They were guiding it all. They were waiting not just for the right time, but for the right version of you. And now that you're becoming that version, braver, softer, more open, and yet more resilient than ever, their path is clear. They will reach out, maybe in a whisper, maybe in an act so bold that it shatters the silence you've grown used to. But either way, you will know, because something ancient in your soul will recognize them. It will feel like coming home. They are not just anyone. They are deeply connected to your mission on this earth. Maybe you've met them before, in this life or another. Maybe they've appeared in dreams you couldn't explain, but their arrival will not be the start of something new. It will be the continuation of something eternal. Their presence will not complete you, but rather awaken you. You've carried such weight, chosen one. You've walked through flames and buried your heart under layers of survival, and yet you kept your light alive. That is why this admirer has chosen now, because your soul is strong enough to hold what's coming. And what's coming is not just love, it's alignment. Not just admiration, it's destiny. The universe has waited for this moment. All that you have endured, all that you have lost, and all that you have feared would never make sense. It will. This presence will help you see it. Not by explaining it all away, but by being the living proof that none of it was for nothing. This admirer is not perfect. They are not your savior, but they are real, and they will walk beside you in a way no one ever has. They will challenge you, inspire you, reflect the most hidden parts of yourself back to you with so much grace that you will begin to love even the pieces you once tried to hide. They don't just see your light, they're drawn to it. And not because they need to take from it, but because they've been sent to add to it. You will feel it in your body before you understand it in your mind. A deep peace, a recognition, a stillness. Not the kind that comes from everything being perfect, but the kind that comes from knowing. You will begin to notice how the universe responds to this encounter. Time will stretch, moments will deepen, synchronicities will multiply. This is the signature of divine alignment. It cannot be forced or fabricated. And you, chosen one, have finally reached the frequency that attracts it. The world may not understand this connection. Others may question it, try to reduce it, even envy it. But don't be distracted. Don't try to explain what is sacred. This is between you, your admirer, and the destiny that has been calling both of you from before time began. There is a path only you two can walk together. And when you take that first step, everything else will begin to rearrange to support your union. This isn't about fairy tales. This is about fulfillment. It's about becoming the version of yourself you always dreamed was possible. Not because someone else completed you, but because they reminded you of who you've always been. That's what this admirer will do. They won't just love you, they will honor you. Not the image you project, not the mask you wear, but the real, raw, radiant you. They've loved you in silence. Now, they're ready to love you in presence. You will recognize their truth not by how loudly they speak, but by how your soul responds. Watch for the signs. Listen with your spirit. And when they arrive, open the door, not in fear, but in faith. Because this is not the end of your journey. It's the beginning of your becoming. You've waited a long time, haven't you? Not just in this life, but across lifetimes, carrying the same ache, the same question, the same whisper of something more. And all this time, someone else was feeling that same pull toward you. Not out of need or dependency, but because your souls were destined to orbit one another until the moment you aligned. That moment is now. The longing you felt wasn't empty. It was a signal, and they've heard it. Every time you wondered if love that truly sees you existed, it was them who felt that question echo in their own spirit. Every moment you stood at a threshold, unsure, afraid, trembling, it was their energy that steadied your feet without you even knowing why you found the strength. Because your secret admirer wasn't just watching from afar. They were participating in your evolution without disturbing your growth. They understood that some flowers bloom best when left unpicked until they're fully ready to open. You are that flower, and they have waited, not to possess you, but to meet you in full bloom. They are closer now. You may not know it with your eyes yet, but your soul has already begun to shift in their direction. That strange calm that's fallen over you recently, that unexplainable sense that something is about to happen, that's them. Their presence is brushing against your field. And even though no words have been exchanged, your spirit recognizes the vibration. It feels like alignment. It feels like clarity without noise, truth without effort. Do you remember all the times you were guided away from something you desperately wanted? The rejections, the missed opportunities, the doors that slammed shut just when you thought you were about to walk through them. It wasn't punishment, it was protection. And it wasn't just the universe that was guiding you, it was your admirer. Not directly, not forcefully, but subtly, energetically. Their longing for you created a field of magnetic correction that kept you on the path that would one day bring you both to the same moment in time. They didn't block you, they blessed you. They kept you from settling for something that wasn't aligned because they could feel your truth even when you forgot it. And now, as your soul begins to remember who you truly are, their energy grows louder. What once was a whisper is becoming a call. What once felt like a fantasy is beginning to crystallize, because they are not just a dream. They are a reality that was promised to you long before you were born. They are not coming to complete you. They are coming to stand beside you. And together, the two of you will ignite a ripple across everything around you. There is a power in union. Not just romantic union, but spiritual resonance. And this admirer understands that. They know the magnitude of what the two of you carry. That's why they've been patient. That's why they didn't rush in before the time was right. They respect your journey. They trust your pace. But now that your light has reached a frequency they can meet, they're preparing to reveal themselves. Maybe not all at once, maybe not with fanfare, but with certainty, with presence, with energy that says, "I've been here all along." And when it happens, it will not feel like something added to your life. It will feel like something returned to it. Like remembering a name you didn't know you'd forgotten. Like finding a place that feels more like home than any house you've ever been in. It won't be chaos. It will be peace. It won't be butterflies. It will be grounding. This admirer isn't bringing drama. They're bringing truth. And truth doesn't demand. It invites. The people around you may not see them right away. That's okay. Not everyone is meant to understand this kind of bond. Some things are too sacred for explanation. This isn't about proving anything to the world. It's about finally stepping into the space where your soul can breathe freely. You've spent enough time shrinking yourself to fit rooms that were too small for your light. This admirer isn't asking you to shrink. They're standing with you in your expansion. They see all of you, and still they stay. That's the power of this connection. It's not based on image, status, or performance. It's based on essence, on recognition, on the ancient agreement your souls made long before your minds could comprehend it. You chose each other in a realm where time does not exist. And now, in this timeline, you're preparing to honor that choice again. With your eyes open, with your hearts healed, and with your hands ready. The shift will be subtle at first. Small nudges, little synchronicities. You might dream of them. You might hear a name. see a sign. Feel a sudden rush of energy when you think of something seemingly random. Pay attention. This is not your imagination. This is the soul speaking in its native language, energy. And energy does not lie. It guides. This admirer is not interested in playing games. They are not here for temporary pleasure. They are here for purpose. They see the world differently because they see you differently. To them, you are not just a person. You are a frequency, a signal, a sacred sound in a noisy world. And they have attuned their entire life to be able to hear you when the time was right. That time is here. But be gentle with yourself. You don't have to rush. You don't have to perform. This connection will not demand more of you than you're ready to give. It will meet you where you are and then invite you into deeper becoming. It will ask you to trust, to open, to believe, not in the fairy tale, but in the frequency, in the truth that has been singing your name, in the silence. So if you find yourself drawn to the idea of something more, something real, listen. If your heart is starting to feel warmer, softer, more expectant, don't dismiss it. That's the glow of recognition beginning to rise. And it's okay to let it rise. You've earned this. You've endured so much to arrive here. Let your heart be a witness to the miracle that is about to unfold. This is only the beginning. The curtain is lifting. The scene is changing. And soon, you will not only know their name, you will know their soul. And in that moment, you will understand why every delay, every heartbreak, and every unanswered question was not the end of your story. It was the preparation for a love written in the language of destiny. You're not being watched from afar out of fear. You're being watched from afar out of reverence. There is a sacredness about you that this secret admirer understands, perhaps better than you do. They've studied your energy in silence, learned the rhythm of your presence without disturbing your path. They haven't come forward yet, not because they don't want to, but because they want their arrival to honor your truth, not distract you from it. They have seen you stumble through storms, make peace with pain, smile with eyes still healing from old wounds. They've seen your strength when you thought no one was looking. And that's what pulled them closer. Not the highlight reel, but the raw, unfiltered moments. They didn't fall in love with your perfection. They fell in love with your resilience, with your light that refuses to go out, even in the darkest hours. And now, they are stepping out of the shadow of waiting, slowly making their way toward the center of your awareness. At first, it may feel like a shift in the wind, a subtle tilt in your reality that you can't quite name. But it will build, gently, intentionally, because they don't want to startle your heart. They want to earn its opening. Every move they make is one of devotion, not desperation. They know that the kind of bond they share with you cannot be forced. It must be felt. You may find yourself noticing things you once ignored, a glance that lingers a little longer, a voice that feels familiar even when spoken for the first time, a presence that soothes your nervous system before a word is said. These aren't coincidences. These are soul marks, recognition cues, hints from the universe that the veil is lifting. And here's the most astonishing part. They've always believed in you, even when you doubted yourself, even when the world tried to shrink your worth. They held your image in their mind like a candle they refused to let the wind extinguish, not because they idolized you, but because they understood you. They saw through the layers to the essence, to the real you, the one who exists beyond circumstances, beyond pain, beyond performance. It's this knowing that makes them so different. They aren't coming to consume you. They're coming to co-create with you, to support your expansion, to amplify your mission, to remind you of your divinity when the world gets loud again, because they see this union not just as a connection, but as a calling. And yes, they're nervous too. They've waited a long time for this alignment. They've watched you grow, watched themselves grow, prepared their heart, strengthened their spirit, not so they could impress you, but so they could deserve you. They want to show up with integrity, with wholeness, with intention, not just as someone who loves you, but as someone who honors the soul contract between you. There will be moments that feel surreal, like the past and the future are collapsing into the present. When your eyes meet, it will not feel like the first time. It will feel like finally. The electricity between you won't be loud or erratic. It will be calm, pure, a current that doesn't burn, but heals. Others might not understand how deep this bond goes. They might question how something so immediate can be so real. But your heart will know, your body will know, and more importantly, your spirit will know. This isn't about validation. This isn't about logic. This is about alignment, divine timing, sacred resonance. Everything you've gone through, every heartbreak, every detour, every silent cry you whispered into your pillow was preparing you for this. Not because love is the reward for pain, but because you became love in the process. You shed the false versions of yourself. You unlearned the noise. And in doing so, you sent out a frequency only the right one could hear. That's how they found you. Not with eyes, not with maps, but with energy. They felt you long before they met you. And now they are preparing to bridge the gap between knowing and being known. Don't be surprised if life begins to move in strange ways. Paths crossing, old patterns breaking, doors opening, where once there were only walls. These are not accidents. This is destiny arranging the space for union. You are being guided, gently pushed toward the place where your reality and your promise finally align. But you must remain open. Don't fall back into the belief that love must be earned by suffering. Don't convince yourself that this kind of connection is too good to be real. You've lived enough illusions. It's time to step into the truth. And the truth is, someone out there sees you, not just your beauty, not just your talent, but your soul. And they are ready to walk beside it. They won't rush you. They won't overwhelm you. They will simply show up again and again with quiet consistency that feels like safety. And slowly, your heart will begin to trust that this is different, that this is sacred, that this is yours. So breathe, chosen one. You don't need to chase this. You don't need to fix yourself for this. Just receive. Let the love you've always been worthy of make its way to you. Let the admirer who has held your essence in reverence finally offer their presence in truth. And when the moment comes, when they stand before you and speak the words you've only heard in dreams, you will not doubt it. You will not question it, because your soul has been waiting for this conversation since the beginning of time. And the moment it begins, time will lose all meaning. Only connection will remain, only destiny, only you and the one who saw you, even before you saw yourself. Every soul leaves behind a trail of energy. You, chosen one, have left behind something more, a signal, a divine frequency only a heart tuned to the same sacred vibration could detect. And your secret admirer has been listening, not just for your voice in the world, but for your truth in the silence. While others saw you as a mystery, they saw you as a message meant for them. They didn't stumble upon you by chance. They were drawn, pulled, magnetized not by appearance, not even by your accomplishments, but by the rare depth of your presence, the way you inhabit moments, the way you carry wounds without letting them harden your light, the way you forgive the world even as it forgets your worth. These are not traits taught, they are encoded, and they soar every one. There is an unspoken reverence in the way they admire you. They have respected your space, your timing, your evolution. They haven't rushed your orbit because they understand that true alignment doesn't demand. It waits, it watches, it builds, slowly, carefully, without ego, without fear. Because their love is not rooted in possession, it's rooted in recognition. And you are being recognized now, not just as someone worthy of love, but as someone destined to be loved in a particular way. The kind of way that doesn't just hold you, but elevates you. Not with empty promises, but with consistent presence. Not with flattery, but with truth. The kind of truth that walks in when the world gets quiet and sits with your spirit until it feels safe enough to bloom again. This admirer has seen you in lifetimes beyond this one. They've carried memories of you in dreams they couldn't explain. And as they awaken more and more to their own purpose, they are beginning to understand that your paths were always meant to meet, not in chaos, but in clarity, not in longing, but in readiness. What's coming isn't a spark, it's a fire that has been burning quietly in both of you for longer than you know. It has shaped choices, redirected paths, ended old cycles, not to create pain, but to create space. Space for something real, something sacred, something that finally fits. The moment of convergence is near. You might already feel it, those subtle changes in your reality that don't make sense on the surface, but feel undeniably significant. People falling away, synchronicities showing up, old doubts dissolving without a fight. These are not random. These are the symptoms of a soul preparing to meet its mirror. And this admirer, they are not afraid of your shadow. In fact, they are drawn to it because they've faced their own. They don't just want your joy. They want your honesty, your broken pieces, your unfinished stories. They are not intimidated by the complexity of your journey. They are honored by the invitation to walk beside it. You won't need to explain yourself. You won't need to shrink to fit. They've already done the work to understand, not the surface details, but the essence of you, the way your spirit stretches toward meaning, the way you protect what's sacred, the way you remain soft in a world that rewards hardness. They've waited for you because they know your soul is not common. It is ancient, radiant, wild, and wise all at once. And they have prepared their heart not just to meet you, but to receive you, without conditions, without confusion, with clarity and care. This isn't just romance, it's restoration. This isn't just attraction, it's activation. When they step into your life, things will begin to shift. You will feel your own light returning stronger, steadier, not because they complete you, but because they reflect you. You'll remember the parts of yourself you buried to survive. You'll reclaim the truths you once feared to speak. They aren't here to fix you. They're here to witness you, to hold a mirror up to the greatness within you and remind you of what you've always been. They are the echo you've heard in your spirit for years, the answer to prayers you didn't have the words to voice. So when they come closer, and they will, don't be afraid. Don't resist the timing because it feels unfamiliar. Remember, miracles rarely feel logical at first. Love of this kind isn't meant to be calculated. It's meant to be felt. In the breath, in the bones, in the stillness between heartbeats. Your paths are aligning now, not because of coincidence, but because both of you have finally become who you were always meant to be. You are not ahead of schedule. You are not behind. You are precisely where destiny has been guiding you. The meeting will not be loud. It will not demand a spotlight, but it will be unforgettable. A quiet knowing, a sacred pause in time, a smile that says, "There you are. I've been looking for you." And you'll feel it, not as a rush, but as a return to yourself, to them, to what was always written in the stars, waiting for its time to rise. The transformation has already begun, quietly, softly. Beneath the surface of your ordinary days, something extraordinary has been taking shape. You may have felt it as a restlessness, a stirring, a gentle unraveling of the familiar. That's not confusion. That's alignment. The old world within you making space for a new arrival, one who doesn't come to rescue you, but to walk with you through the kind of change that turns fate into fire. This secret admirer is not a stranger to transformation either. They too have burned. They too have rebuilt. And that's what makes this connection different. They don't seek to distract you from your pain. They honor it. They don't fear your truth. They crave it. Because in your most vulnerable, unedited self, they find the most sacred reflection of their own healing. This is not a bond built on fantasy. It's built on frequency, on the invisible resonance that exists between two souls who have been calling out for each other through the chaos. Your name has lived inside their thoughts for longer than they can explain. Not your given name, your essence, your light, your rhythm, the way your soul hums when it's fully seen. They've been waiting to hear that sound in person. And soon, they will. You've done so much on your own, chosen one. You've carried dreams that felt too heavy for your hands. You've walked paths where no one offered to go beside you. But the days of carrying everything alone are coming to an end. Not because you're weak, not because you need saving, but because destiny always sends support to those who've stood tall long enough to grow roots. This secret admirer is part of that support. Not just someone who notices you, but someone who understands you intuitively. They will not come in the form of control or demand. They will arrive like a whisper, clear, honest, grounding. They are not here to interrupt your growth. They are here to witness it, water it, and become part of it. And you will know them by what they awaken in you. Not anxiety, not confusion, but a calm certainty you didn't think was possible. A stillness in your chest where storms used to live. They will not be perfect, but they will be present, and their presence will feel like peace. Others may try to understand the connection between you, but they won't be able to, because it won't be based on logic. It will be based on memory. A kind of recognition only two spirits with shared timelines can feel. They will not feel like someone new. They will feel like someone familiar, as if every version of you has known every version of them in every life you've lived. You may try to resist it at first, not because you don't feel it, but because you do. Because love like this doesn't knock gently. It enters like truth and sits beside everything you've ever questioned. It unearths old beliefs and replaces them with new trust. And while that is beautiful, it's also intense. But this secret admirer is patient. They are not rushing your bloom. They are simply letting you know the garden is ready whenever you are. They've studied the language of your energy long before words were exchanged. They've watched the way you give to others and wondered who's been giving to you. They've seen your power and asked themselves how they could be part of its protection, not its exploitation. They admire you not for what you do, but for how you do it. for the grace in your battles, for the hope in your heartbreak, for the divinity in your everyday breath. This is love, not as fantasy, but as foundation, not as distraction, but as direction. They are drawn not just to your presence, but to your purpose. They want to walk beside you, not in front or behind, because they know your path is sacred. And walking it together doesn't dim your light, it amplifies it. You may feel it soon. The pull, the shift, the unexplainable moment where your gaze finds theirs and something clicks inside your chest. You won't need confirmation. You'll feel it, in the space between you, in the words left unspoken that somehow say everything. And once that connection is made, things will never be the same. Not in a chaotic, overwhelming way, but in a gentle, grounding way that feels like coming home after lifetimes lost. You won't have to wonder if it's right. You'll simply know, because your soul has been waiting for this echo, and now it has found its sound. So prepare your heart, chosen one, not for a fantasy, not for a fleeting moment, but for something lasting, something eternal, something that was written into your journey before your first breath. This admirer is not coming to change your worth. They are coming because they already see it. They are not here to complete you. They are here because you are already whole, and they are too. And when the moment arrives, when they step out of the shadows and into your light, you will not hesitate, because you'll recognize the one who has been holding your name like a prayer across lifetimes. Not a stranger, not a savior, but a soul finally arriving where it has always belonged. And now, chosen one, we arrive at the threshold. The air feels different here, not heavier, but sacred, as if the world itself knows what's about to happen. There's a hush in the unseen, a holding of breath, because this next step in your journey isn't just personal, it's cosmic. A destiny written in stardust is about to touch the earth through you. The secret admirer you felt in flickers is no longer a figure on the horizon. They are closer now, not just in physical space, but in soul alignment. The timing, the energy, the inner shifts, all are converging to open a doorway that only you and they can walk through. And when you do, it will not feel like a grand event. It will feel like something ancient being remembered. You may not recognize them at first through the eyes, but your spirit will know. It always has. Because love like this was never meant to be introduced. It was meant to be reawakened. There will be no performance, no pretending, just presence. And in that presence, everything in you will settle. Not because you found someone to lean on, but because you found someone who sees the architecture of your soul and chooses it. They've seen the fire in your journey and are not afraid to stand in its heat. They know what you've been through, even if they don't know the details, because they've lived through their own storms. They are not drawn to your light because it's perfect. They are drawn to it because it survived, because it still flickers in the dark when it would have been easier to go cold. And they carry their own flame, one that doesn't compete with yours, but dances beside it in rhythm. The universe does not make mistakes with souls like yours. It weaves them carefully, lets them wander until they've grown enough to hold something this deep. You didn't miss your chance. You weren't late. Everything was necessary. The heartbreaks, the silence, the almosts. They all shaped you into someone who could receive this love, not just wish for it. And this love, it's not decoration, it's destiny. It's not about filling space, but creating new space. Together, you and they are meant to build, not just a bond, but a beacon, a light that helps others remember that yes, this kind of connection is real, that yes, it's worth the wait, and yes, it changes everything. Because you've both carried so much alone, the act of simply being together will feel miraculous. Even in the ordinary, the energy will be extraordinary. The world around you may not understand it. Let them wonder. You weren't born for ordinary understanding. You were born for sacred union. They will honor your softness. They will honor your strength. They will never ask you to choose between the two. In their eyes, you will never be too much, too deep, too complex. You will be exactly what they always hoped existed, but stopped believing they would find. Until now, they've dreamt of you, and not just in sleep, in their quiet moments, in their doubts, in their prayers, in their search for something true. You have lived in the echoes of their becoming. And now that they've arrived, now that you've both grown into your higher selves, nothing can keep this from unfolding. Not fear, not history, not even time, because love like this answers to no calendar. It arrives when the soul is ready to be seen without armor, when the heart is ready to give without agenda, when two spirits know that what they've found in one another is not the end of the journey, but the sacred beginning of a greater mission. You are not being rewarded for waiting. You are being recognized for becoming. You've done the work, felt the fire, carried the vision. And now, the one who sees that light, your light, is coming not to consume it, but to stand in it with you. And when your eyes meet, whether in a glance across a room, a conversation that flows too easily, or a silence that feels like understanding, you will know, not from your mind, from your bones, from the place inside you that has waited lifetimes for this moment. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to control it. You only need to receive it. Let it unfold. Let it reveal itself in its own divine timing. Let your heart expand enough to hold it without fear. Because this admirer isn't just someone who wants to be near you. They are someone whose very soul has chosen to evolve with you. And that kind of love, divine love, is the rarest destiny of all. Now, chosen one, the path opens before you, quiet, electric, unmistakable. A love that was written long before time now begins its next chapter, in you, with them. Be ready. They are closer than ever, and everything is about to change, forever.